Happy April. This is, you know what it is. It says what it is. This is the Akashic theme for April. And every month for many years now, I tune in at the start of the month and I just track the year through the energy that's being held in our Akashic record. And so that is the field of energy that's here to guide and mentor us. And there is hi, Kelly. There is, a field of energy. There is a file for all of those who are meant to watch this video, for everyone who is, going to connect with this energy this month, and for the measurement of time of April. And so tuning into that, let me first remind you where we're coming from. March, eclipse season, equinox. It was a shocking month for a lot of people. It was an energy about what is really done and what you're really ready for. So it was a very clarifying month for many of us, getting really clear on what is complete and what is ready. Okay. And it was also the last month of this zodiac year, right? So we just came out of Pisces season, which is like the last zodiac sign of the astrological year. And now we're really in the new year, speaking energetically and speaking astrologically. So we got really clear on that. And if that's something you maybe I don't know, maybe you haven't had a moment to think about that yet, but this is a great time as we come into this month to just reflect on, what did I realize is really done last month? What did I realize is ready to awaken and to open for this coming year? And how did that show up naturally? Hi, V. How did that just show up naturally for you in your life? What was clearly done? What is clearly ready? So personally, I got back to St. Pete in Tampa for the first time since I had moved out of there almost 2 years ago. And it was so beautiful to come hear all these wonderful updates and see people I care about and realize what the relationship with St. Pete is going to be, which is it's always going to be a great place to decompress and to heal and to release pressure and to just have the medicine that was established there. But all these things that felt so important while I was there, the way I paint, I want to say painstakingly, but the way I really nurtured and created this healing sanctuary and home for myself while I was there, I felt so connected to those things that I got a storage unit until I knew what I was doing next. And then when I got to that storage unit, it was actually, this is really done. I still love these pieces. And now it's really done. And I'm also really ready to let them go to the next home, the next people, the next sanctuary. And I also printed the first physical copies of the book that I started when I was in St. Pete. So the time I was in St. Pete began writing about the most difficult time in my life. I didn't realize it was going to become the book, but it was I knew I wanted to write a book, and it ended up being about this time. So I'll be sharing about this more. I'm not ready to put it out yet. That's probably going to happen at the end of this month or into next month. But, this is a thing that's ready. I'm also really done with living inside the energy of this story. So that's what I mean. This actually is a physical representation of what I'm really done with and what I'm really ready for. And now I get to work with the energy of the story in a totally different way. And it's happened in chapters and in segments. So I'm sure you can relate to that, right? There's these things that have opened that make us realize we're simultaneously done and ready at the same time. And so now we've come into this month and we're coming in a little lighter. And you can just take a moment to drop in and get, kind of drop into your pelvis. Relax your shoulders, soften the belly and the spine. Because now we're going to go into what the forecast of April is, but I want you to just first do a quick check-in with yourself of coming into this month with the energy of what is really done. Letting your whole body relax and feel the relief of knowing you've already released it, it's done. And if that hasn't been reflected to you yet, it will be. because you're part of nature. You're experiencing what's happening. Your own life is a reflection of what is happening in nature. So something is done, something has released. Letting yourself relax. And then just breathing up, feeling something as you've totally grounded and descended into your body, connecting with the earth. Now you're going to breathe in and just feel what's ready, what's coming up. And notice if you're with me on this, just like let whatever it is you're ready for just rest in your heart. Because the message that's coming through right now from the energy that is holding us is just what an act of self-love it is to know what you really want. To know what you're ready for. To know what you're here for. To move in the direction and in the actions that allow you to have that. Like, that is the deepest of love, to do that. And so just really sitting for a moment and just letting this energy rest in your heart of what you're ready for. And as you sit with that energy in your heart, knowing you love yourself enough to have it, to want it, to move in that direction, you're just going to say this to yourself, which is probably a term you've heard before, but try it on and see what it feels like. I'm willing to take up space in my own life. Because what you're ready for, what you're wanting, that is the cost of admission. That is the requirement, to take up space in your own life. And that is the theme of this month. So just breathing that in and beginning to just feel yourself take up more space. And so the Akashic theme for April is expansion. To know that there is enough space, you have enough capacity. Hi, Catherine. You can keep up if it's really what's true for you. We're just talking about the energy for this month, which is about expansion, as I was saying to you. And, you know, we're right now in the face of a narrative that has told us to like tighten up, buckle in, brace yourself, to become more of an observer and a consumer instead of an active player, right? And so there's many people that I know that have been talking to me about that like they just feel really anxious and really tight and like really unsure and are a little bit, there's so many butterflies out the window. They're really unsure like how to move until like XYZ gives them permission to do so. And there's a way that many of us are getting submissive to the reflection of what's going on in the world. And, you know, those of us who have been doing spiritual work or healing work for a long time, you know, like for the last 15 years, 20 years, right? Like there's been a lead up to this period of time where the narrative, the story has been, we've been waiting. This is the time we've been waiting for. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Like we are in training to when there's that real peak tipping point where things start to dismantle and there's ways for many people to be very connected. Like we're going to rebuild and co-create with each other. And we are here to know how to hold that energy. So we know this is the time and we are the ones and then all of a sudden it's really happening. And that is really destabilizing and disorienting. Because maybe when we envisioned this or we meditated on it or we were in classes or groups or practices about this, maybe we didn't understand like what the world would look like at the time that it was really time to bring the gifts full out. Maybe we wouldn't understand how heavy the frequency of become an observer, become a consumer, become lost in a screen, like become lost in a nonstop barrage of information when our brains are actually still not evolved to understand this much non-local to us information. Right? Like, we might not have pictured what that would feel like. I don't know if you can know what it will feel like until you're there feeling it. But life really, what you're ready for, requires all of you. And you deserve to know and to have all of you. And like, it truly is in this Aquarian era that we also just entered in the last few months. Like, this is the rebellion, is being fully who we are, right? And becoming a main character in our own life. And going, and I know, like, I was talking to Vanessa about this too. I've been getting this message. I feel like Catherine, Kelly, like those of you who are on here live, I feel like we've been talking about this, like just going all the way into your own life, into your own work, like going all the way in, really, really coming into your own life. And sometimes we don't even realize that we're not fully in our own life and we're not really the main character. And there's many ways that, like, that can happen. Like, I know, I mean, I'll just speak for myself, but I mean, there's lots of different responsibilities or obligations or traumatic events or roles we need to play, that suddenly we thought we were the main person in our life because it's our life. And like, we're actually not the main character in our life, and we're giving our attention and our waking hours and energy to things that are not us. And it's time to really get wide and go far. Like, this bracing thing is not actually what it's about. And we've been training for that. Those of us who have been doing this work for many years, like, we know that. But it's like, we can have compassion with, like, of course, it would be hard to not get swept up in some of the sophisticated energies and tools that have taught us to buckle up, brace, and wait for permission to move, right? So, here's what happens though, like when we don't take up fully the space in our own life, the other reason why we don't actually always realize that is because our life is still full, right? Like, it doesn't necessarily look empty. We can have a very busy, very full life and not be fully expanded in our true experience of reality, because what happens when we get smaller is like other things will come in to fill the space. That's actually like what the strategy has been, right? In this kind of, I don't know, do I want to say spiritual war? But you know what I'm saying. In this experience we're having, we've been starting to train, people have been trained to like take up less space, but life still feels very full and stimulating and busy. And you don't even realize like all the other things that are first in the margins, right? Like, maybe you're still on the page of your life and then there's kind of things coming in the margins, and then you get smaller and smaller and more anxious and more tight. And then all of a sudden, and more kind of inward into distraction. And then all of a sudden, like, many other things that are not really what you want to focus on or prioritize are surrounding the space of your life. So that's okay. If that's something you can relate to or resonate with, like, that's okay. I think it happens to all of us. And I think this is a year and a moment to just remember we've been waiting for the Aquarian age, right? Like, this is what we've been working towards and attuning to, is how to fully be ourself and attune to ourself and our own work and our own creative, spiritual, humanitarian offering for this time period. And the part that's tricky is getting surrounded by a lot of distracting, frightening energy while we're trying to do that. But like, that's why we had all these years before now to really get comfortable with this information and with ourself and with learning how to create, right? So so that's the energy we're going to work with this month. I want to just drop back in now. So just let yourself relax and drop back in. Reconnecting with yourself, your own great work, great gift, great offering. Reconnecting with what's ready. Yep. Feeling the way you can begin to release the tension, the worry, other people's projections and ideas. And even when we don't feel like we have more time, we can create more space. And so just doing a little check-in with yourself and like, what is too up against you that's not really you? What is something you need a little space from? And with the next exhale out, just let yourself create a little space so you can feel yourself. Wow, something in my room like fell down when we did that. Create a little space so you can feel yourself. What's something else you need a little space with? Exhaling out, beginning to move that a little further out. And take a few more breaths this way until you really feel a nice circle of space around you and the things that are not really yours, not really what you want to prioritize. Just feel now that it might still be here and it might be things you still need to work out, and that's human and fine. But we're just creating a little more space because you need to be able to expand this month. This month is about your personal expansion. This month is about more of your life looking and feeling like what you care about, what you're gifted with, what you're ready for. And you know, in our practice of tracking the spiritual threads, there's so many ways to see the reflection of how our life is beginning to really take a shape that is more us. That doesn't need to be this super dramatic, like, until these things happen, my life is not me fully expanded. There's many ways to see the way our life is beginning to weave in more of our true, real nature and desires and gifts. This next 20 years, we all have a very special offering in this Aquarian age. And so this month with the expansion, we begin to really take up the space required to share that offering. And so just take a few more breaths here before we drop these questions into your consciousness. You can answer them now or later. But make sure you're in a position that makes you feel more expanded. Like maybe open your legs, your shoulders, arch your back. This is how much space you take up, this or more. Feel yourself getting wide. Feel your commitment to simplifying. The simplification already happened for you in March. So have the discipline to stay current, to stay deeply in your own work and your own creativity. It is not selfish. It is not disassociating to go deeply into yourself. It is the requirement right now. And then you can start to attune to what you're here to work and move. Because if you're constantly focused on the chaos and you have lost touch with your relationship to your life, you're not actually going to be very effective in anything you're doing. You're like not in your own body, in your own life. It's not sustainable. So this is a month to truly connect with what we're ready for and then expand accordingly. And the questions that this month are going to ask you and answer are, what do I really want? What do I really need? What do I already have that can support those first two questions? Allowing yourself to feel how resourced you already are to have what you really want and really need. Sometimes there's just a little adjustment to be made. What are you here to do? What are you here to try? Hey, Beth. What do you want your presence to both evoke and create in the world? I think what we've already learned is like when we bring our attention and our presence towards certain things, it evokes and it creates. So when you walk into a room or into your work or into your family, when you walk into a space, what do you want your presence to evoke? When you're sitting with someone the way we're sitting right now, what do you want your presence to evoke? What do you want your presence and your attention when you direct it towards other people or a project or an intention or a movement? What do you want it to create? Let yourself feel that one. And how can you cultivate that? Feel that answer just kind of bubble up. How can you cultivate your desired presence? You might be surprised by the answer. And just let yourself breathe in the frequency of how you will cultivate that presence this month, about how you will cultivate being more expanded, being a bigger player in your own life and reality. Letting the chaos, the things that are not you, the things that are not actually your priority or your desire, let them keep moving further out, off the page, maybe in the margins, until they fucking fall off. That's a natural thing. Something I learned like 20 years ago in health counseling school was like, we crowd things out. We don't have to cut things out and feel depleted or like, what do we do now? Like undernourished, under-resourced. We just start taking up more space, bringing in more of what's truly nourishing and revitalizing and pleasurable and loving and compassionate. And all of a sudden it starts crowding out the stuff that just is not right for us anymore. And so the more you expand and take up more space this month, the more you crowd it out. We're already doing it. Are you seeing it in the world? The more of us that are getting really in touch with our mission and who we really are, what we're really here to do, what we really care about, you doing the practices and the work that allows that to cultivate, and then all of a sudden everyone's getting bigger, and then we're crowding out the stuff. And so it's all getting kind of squeezed together. So it's very loud right now because we're crowding things out. So take a few more breaths just in this energy. I'm going to just kind of like work with us, our energy, if you're watching live and recorded. Just really supporting and really grounding this protective energy. May you feel safe, secure, supported. May you feel all your guides, guardians, ancestors, and the people in your life, your world, your land and community, the nature that's around you. May you feel everything supporting you to be who you are, to take up more space, even when it feels like the antithesis of that. May you understand that's like actually underneath, it's a calling for you to be more yourself. Even when it feels like I can't do that here, there's a calling for you to be more yourself. So just beginning to let yourself feel really expanded, feel the energy around you, holding you, protecting you, supporting this major month of expansion, April 2025. And just hold here. Yeah, and just the final message is like, yeah, the things that are not you are not allowed to get in so deep anymore. The bigger you are, the more you expand. It's like the things that are not true and are not you are not allowed to like get in so deeply. It's done. And so we're just feeling that whatever we needed to clear and release together has been cleared and released. Really, like that final message I'm just hearing from the energy, like really take that from this. Like, yeah, you're not allowed so deeply into my psyche, my energy, my body, my thoughts, my projections, my reality, my understanding of myself. You'll know what it is for you. Not allowed in. Boundaried. Knowing that what we're here to receive and connect to and expand is now with you, with us. We're grounding it right now, all the way down the body, to the feet, to the ground, to the earth, planting the seed. And I'm just sending gratitude to everyone who's here and will be watching the recording, and to the guides and the guardians, the energy of the Akasha. Feeling grateful to our soul mission and decision to be here together now. To remember, we've known this, we're here, it's happening. It's like sometimes surreal when we picture things, big events in the future, and we're here now. And we're just going to move through it like we've moved through everything in this lifetime and others. And so for now, we know we're still connected by heart. We're breathing back into existence, the door between worlds. The records are closed, landing the plane, relaxing the body and the spine. You're so welcome. Thank you for being such a great friend. Love you, Vanessa. And so we're just landing the body, the base of the spine, down into the earth, feeling the earth's gratitude, feeling your gratitude for the earth. And just relax here for another minute. Letting this soothe you. Hopefully this felt soothing and revitalizing. I think this will be a great month. If there's something you are really clear that you want to keep expanding and bring forward, I have a special private container I do called Lift Off. And it's for people who are right on the verge of something and they just need that like really supportive container and powerful energy and some strategy too to just like boop, like really push it up and out and expand. And it's really come forward really strongly today. Like there's some people who are ready to come back into a container like that this month. So I'll put a link if you want to have a conversation with me about that. I have really seen some pretty amazing things happen for people in that particular lift off container. And it's just like enough watching SpaceX lift off. I'm over it. I want to watch you lift off, honestly. So yeah, feel free to message me. We'll talk about that and have a beautiful day. And oh, that's so cool. Glad to see you all. I'm out here clearing my mom's house out and ready my childhood home for the next family. How beautiful. And that's a journey I know about for sure. And I just wish you so much ease and support while you do that. And hopefully you can have fun with that and have the experience of reconnecting with certain things and also like having your goodbye with the house. Really powerful thing. And it's really fun when you realize like the house is in on it too. You know, the house wanted to hold you and now is going to support your exit and the entrance of the next people. So, all right, everyone, have a beautiful day. Feel free to leave a comment or a share, and I'll definitely be checking this thread. And thanks so much. We'll talk soon. Bye.